Hi, welcome to Clarity Tarot. Today's topic is going to be all about your most important relationship, which is your relationship with your own self. So we have three different piles today. Pile 1 is the Butterfly Ferrets card, and it says, I am reborn. This is number 5. These are all from the Oracle of the Shapeshifters. Pile 2, we have the Fairy Ring, New Skills, Advanced Training, Rapid Improvements, number 37. And then pile 3, we have the Delicate Fairy and her Ferrets. Change is natural, good, and yes, it can hurt. And this is number 24. So take a moment and think about which might be your pile. For some reason, they all include ferrets or fairies today. Not every card in this deck relates to that, but we'll see what that's about. And these readings, we're going to look at the positive side of your connection to yourself, the challenges, and any advice from Spirit. And I'll be using the Light Seers Tarot. So thank you so much if you're new or even if you're a returning subscriber. I so appreciate you being here. And thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and sharing. It helps my little channel grow, because I really do want these messages to get out there and serve as many people as possible. So thanks so much for your support, and if you're interested in a private reading, all those details are in the description box. Without further ado, let's start with pile 1. Hello, pile 1. How are you today? If you picked the Butterfly Ferrets, this will be your reading. And so we're looking into your relationship with yourself. The first thing we're going to ask Spirit for some clarification on is, what are these strengths in the way that you relate to yourself right now? What are the good things about that relationship? That relationship of you to you. So I'll give these a couple more shuffles. Okay. And so strengths for pile 1, first card jumping out, Knight of Cups, beautiful. Strengths for pile 1's relationship with themselves, 2 of Cups, wow. Queen of Wands, King of Pentacles, there's a few stacks that keep wanting to jump out. I think I just want 1 or 2 more cards. Here we go. 9 of Pentacles. Okay, and then next we want to look at challenges for this next row. Challenges of your relationship with yourself. 6 of Swords. Okay, and we have Ace of Cups in reverse, 5 of Swords in reverse, 3 of Wands. Let's move these so we can see everything. Got a couple more in this row. King of Swords, and the 4 of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. So, strengths of how you relate to yourself. Well, we have a lot of water energy here. Water and Pentacles, so water and earth. So it might be a water or earth sign. You certainly don't have to be. But with the Knight of Cups plus the 2 of Cups, it's like you show yourself love. And the song that's coming to mind right now is Flowers by Miley Cyrus, which there's lyrics about how she can buy herself flowers, she can take herself on dates, she can do whatever she needs to help her feel appreciated. And I think you really do that, pile 1. You find little ways, just like you would with a romantic partner or a friend in your life, you find ways to help yourself feel appreciated. And the inner part of you is coming through really just to say thank you, and I feel so connected to you. It's really a sweet energy. We have Queen of Wands next, which what I'm really drawn to in this card is just the look of delight on her face. Do you see this? And she has almost like this spark of light coming off of her hand. It looks like she's got, well, a wand. She's the Queen of Wands in her hand there. And it just looks so magical and whimsical also. So I think the way that you relate to yourself, you give yourself a lot of space to try new things, to like follow your fancy. It's a funny phrase. But you might be the kind of person that occasionally you're like, I just want to wander around and see where my nose takes me, see what trouble I can get into. And again, it's like you taking yourself on a little adventure, and it just makes you feel so good inside and really enhances the relationship between yourself and you. And then with King of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles, this just brings in so much stability and consistency. Like you are really able to provide for yourself everything that you need. The Nine of Pentacles in particular, some people talk about it as like the pre-Empress card. It's like when you are fully independent, confident, fulfilled, and happy within yourself and don't need anything from outside. That's the Nine of Pentacles. So that plus the King of Pentacles is like you really are good on your own. I'm drawn to, in this card with the King of Pentacles, it looks like he's sitting in a library and he's got this wolf dog sitting next to him. And it just looks it looks like he's in, to me, it feels like he's in a mansion or something, because where else do you have like a library like this? So there might be something also just about your home environment. Maybe you have a very like luxurious space, whatever that means to you. I mean, luxury might be surrounded by books or surrounded by tarot decks or your favorite stuffed animals. I don't know what it would be for you, but whatever that means for you and like your inner child, you have that at home. So really, what's coming through in terms of like the strengths of your relationship to yourself, you really listen to what it is that your inner child in particular wants to do or say or explore, and you provide a lot of stability. You treat yourself well. With the Pentacles also, I always get things like, you know, putting yourself to bed on time, good rhythms around diet and exercise, taking good care of yourself. And all of this creates like just a really solid foundation. And again, like the vibe I'm getting about the strings between you and you, there's just a lot of harmony there and a lot of love, and it shows. And now when we look at the challenges between you and you, I think you have a challenge to accept changes within yourself. And I'm specifically getting here things related to aging, which could be like how much energy you have, how your skin looks, what your weight might be, what kind of activities you're interested in. And all of those things have changed from when you were a younger person. It doesn't even matter if you're 25 and maybe you're not interested in what you were interested in when you were 13. But whatever those activities were at that time, for some reason you have an expectation of yourself that you should still want to do those things or be good at those things. Or maybe you have an idea of like, it's cool to be able to go out clubbing until 3 a.m. or 5 a.m. And I just don't feel like I can do that anymore. Like my body wants to do that anymore. And there might be some judgment or frustration about that. But what I'm hearing is that you actually don't want to do those things anyway. Some of those things from when you were younger, but you maybe just have a hang up around what it means that you don't do those things anymore. Does that make sense? Pile 2. So what's coming through here is with the Five of Swords in reverse, like an invitation to accept and surrender to the changes in the stage of life that you're in. Like love yourself in this body, love yourself in this way of socializing, how you are, and let those prior ways go. With 3 of Wands, King of Swords, and 4 of Pentacles in reverse, challenges with how you interact with yourself. This has to do with a particular person. I'm actually getting like literally the King of Swords, which doesn't have to be a male. It's just an energy, and this would be a person who's very cerebral, very strong-minded, quite logical versus emotional. And Three of Wands to me is always a romance card. It's about like what you want to build with someone or how you want to interact with them. And with the Four of Pentacles in reverse, there's something about, I don't know if this person is past or present. It's going to be different for each of you. But whatever the case, it's like your desire for this person almost like trumps your relationship with your body at times. And I'm getting pile one that like this doesn't happen in other circumstances. Like no other friend or family member or colleague can get you to go against your own preferences. You really are solid in terms of how you feel about yourself and how you treat yourself. But for some reason, this King of Swords is your weakness. And you, I would say, have let some of your own boundaries go in relationship to them in a way that you haven't with anyone else. And so it's coming through as a challenge, I think mostly just for, I think Spirit's just wanting you to acknowledge that you've been different in that relationship than in any other, and to invite you to think about that, about why that is. Is there a particular quality or need that this person has or meets for you that's really important to you? And just to do some contemplation about what that's about. So, okay, so that's the high side and the challenge from your relationship to yourself. So Spirit, anything that I didn't mention that would be important? Ooh, look at this, Ace of Wands. So what I didn't mention is that you're a very inspired person with lots of amazing ideas. And you've kept that alive. And that doesn't just happen by accident, pile one. Like all of us start out, in my opinion, we all start out as very creative in childhood. And then through traditional schools or life, adulthood, many of us lose that creativity or don't continue to foster it. But you have always listened to your inner voice and followed that part of you, which means that you still now have a very rich and fiery and passionate and inspirational flame inside of you. And your inner self, your inner child's coming through to say like, good job and thank you for having that and for keeping that, because it's not easy and most people don't. Then we have the Page of Swords. So this card is about like exploration, new ideas, blazing new trails, things like this. And for you, this is sending me back to the Queen of Wands again. It's like you're willing to explore anything, and that includes intellectually, which I didn't really mention too much before. So yourself is very grateful that you do that you don't have what's called like a sacred cow, like a belief that you refuse to look at differently or think about in a new way. You always want to learn and expand and continue to stretch your mind. So that's all really beautiful, pile one. And so now I want to close this reading with any advice for you about your relationship with yourself. Okay, so for pile one, what advice is there for their relationship with themselves? We have Six of Wands, Page of Cups, and the Knight of Cups with the Lovers. So beautiful. Well, the advice is keep doing what you're doing, pile one. This Knight of Cups, this was the first card out for you and what you're doing right. So to me, that's really a message that everything's great. You're doing what you should be doing. You're on the right path. You're successful. Six of Wands, you can see in the picture here, it's like about being publicly celebrated and successful. The last thing I want to talk about here is the Oracle card that you got, the Butterfly Ferret's I Am Reborn. So this came through in your reading a little bit with the challenges. This card specifically speaks about how tough it is to become a totally new person, which sometimes that happens for us like after divorce or a move or the end of a great love in our lives, or even just like moving away from home after living with our parents, things like this, and embracing your new life and your new personhood. And so Spirit's also wanting to acknowledge that you have done something really challenging by becoming that new person and letting the old person go. This could also apply if you related just to the message about like accepting yourself in this decade of life, like the process of aging. But the point of this card is basically to celebrate you, that you're embracing where you are now and you're not looking backwards overly much. So advice for you, continue to interact with yourself with this energy of the Lovers, which is harmony, just like total oneness. It's you and me, babe. That attitude from you to yourself. So this was a really beautiful reading, pile one. It really is cool to see such a healthy and positive relationship with yourself. So kudos to you. Please leave a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel if this resonated. Or even if it didn't, I'd be curious to hear about that. And I hope to see you at another reading. Okay, hello pile two. Hope you're doing well today. If you picked the fairy ring card, this will be your reading. So I'm going to do a few quick shuffles. We're using the Light Seers Tarot today. And we're going to ask 3 questions. We're going to ask about your strengths, challenges, and advice related to your relationship with yourself. Okay, so let's start off with pile 2 for strengths of their relationship with themselves. Strengths, Knight of Cups in reverse, Ace of Swords in reverse, King of Cups in reverse, Queen of Cups, the Star in reverse. Okay, and then what about challenges in your relationship with yourself? Two of Cups, the World, Ten of Wands in reverse. The Hierophant, Six of Cups, the High Priestess, and Seven of Wands. Okay. So what's so interesting about your reading, pile 2, you got the Knight of Cups to start your reading in reverse, and pile 1 got the Knight of Cups but upright. So it's just funny to me how both are talking about like strengths, but it's because you're a different person. So for pile 1, the Knight of Cups upright, which is about like treating themselves, giving just a lot of emotional support and patience. And you have this reverse, the Knight of Cups in reverse. So it's almost like there's a part of you that knows like that you don't like that level of emotionality, particularly in terms of how you relate to yourself. This reminds me of a client that I had in coaching for many years who we had some things we worked on around like relationship with the inner child. And so we would talk about exercises in terms of like how she should talk to her inner child or talk with herself. And she really couldn't tolerate it, frankly, like to talk to herself like, you know, okay, little one, what is it that you need right now? It was too cheesy for her. And so we had to redirect and try some different things that worked better for her. But that would be like an example of this. Like maybe you're a somewhat spiritually and emotionally evolved person, so you know that you need to improve your relationship with yourself and you want to work on that. But maybe a lot of what is out there is just like a little bit too gooey for you. And so that's coming through as a strength. Like, that despite wanting to be nurturing to yourself, it's not about laying it on too thick. With the Ace of Swords in reverse, so Ace of Swords upright is about like truth, clarity, seeing things for exactly as they are. When it's in reverse, it's about not being overly concerned with the truth. So an example of how this might be a strength, I'll give an example from my own life. So last year I was teaching a class in prison, as I often do. And I had I still don't even know exactly what happened, but I had some kind of trigger go off inside me where I was really, it's hard to even talk about now. I was just really having trouble. Like I started seeing double, my breathing increased, my blood pressure shot up. I was having some kind of trauma reaction to something going on in class. And actually I was teaching the trauma section in our class. So I actually worked with myself as an example real time for the class, which was not fun, but I think ended up being effective. But anyway, I just needed a lot of self-care. I ended up having to not go in to teach the next module the following day. So I had to ask my partner to do it without me. And I felt really bad about that for a long time, even now still really, because, I want to be dependable. I don't want to go back on my commitments, but really I had to take care of myself. And so the truth was like, that was the most important thing. However, in this situation, the reason I'm bringing it up as an example is like the truth of the fact that like I had an issue. I wasn't reliable to do the job that I was paid to do. In that instance, even though that's the truth, it's like not a helpful truth. So I'm not going to tell myself that over and over because it's not useful to me. What is useful to me is I needed some care and I gave it, and whatever. Forget the fallout. The fallout doesn't matter. So another place this might come up is maybe you've had relationships where someone was very triggering to you, and while maybe their behavior was technically okay and they were in their rights to act the way they were, you might have been like, I just don't like this, and I don't care if it's technically fine for them to do what they're doing. I just don't like it, and I'm out of here. So the truth doesn't matter about whether they're right or I'm wrong. Hopefully you get the idea of what I'm going for here, but it's like, it's a way that you treat yourself where it just doesn't matter. You don't hold yourself to a particular set of like values or standards in a way that like lords it over your own head. Does it make sense? You don't expect yourself to perform. And I think your inner self really appreciates that. I think there's something about you, Pile 2, where even though you may be a very creative, very effective person, like in your job, let's say, you never get there by heavy-handedness or high expectations or pressure. Like that's just not you, and it doesn't work for you. And so you know this about yourself and are able to work with yourself in a way that's supportive. Now this is interesting with the King of Cups in reverse next to the Queen of Cups. Whatever your gender, maybe you have experienced a lot of pressure to show your emotions in what's considered a more like quote unquote masculine way, which what is that even? Who knows? But depending on like the family or the culture you grew up in, maybe there was a certain way of showing emotions that was expected of you and your gender, whatever your gender may be. And you've rejected that. You've rejected those expectations and allowed yourself to be in this more free-flowing Queen of Cups, nurturing to self, outwardly connected to your emotions and those of others, perhaps openly spiritual way. And you've allowed yourself to be that way, even though you've had other expectations placed on you. Which again is interesting because we have the Knight of Cups here reversed. Like, you don't want to treat yourself in an overly emotional way in terms of how you address yourself, but you do want to express your emotions. So what I'm already getting about you, pile 2, is like there's a lot of subtlety in how you need to be treated and how you need to relate to yourself. And it might be hard for you to find that level of subtlety in your relationships from the outside, but you definitely have it with yourself. Like, you know where that line is of what emotions are okay for you, what feels okay for you to show, and what feels okay for you to express and what doesn't. And you don't need to explain it to anybody else because you can feel it inside yourself. So I think you're just very intuitive, very, very led by your own sense of what's right. And then we have the Star in reverse. So the Star upright to me is about it's about hope, it's about healing, it's about transformation, it's about things off in the future, goal setting perhaps. With the Star in reverse, I'm getting, again, with like the performance pressure thing, you really do accept yourself just as you are. You don't, even though you, I think, are interested in healing modalities and growth emotionally, you're not like on a mission to fix yourself. And you really focus your attention on accepting how you already are, which is seriously amazing, pile 2. So now let's look at the challenges. So the challenges in relation to your to yourself. What's interesting is the Two of Cups, and I'm not getting that this is about you with you. I'm getting that this is about you with others. There's some way that you present yourself, or that the way in which you are with others, that you don't allow the same vibe or the same exchange of energy that you have with yourself up here. And this to me says something about trust. Maybe you didn't have positive, loving relationships modeled to you as a child. Maybe you experienced different kinds of trauma in your life that made it really difficult for you to open up to others in this way. But it's coming through as a challenge because, like, what I'm getting is that this is available to you. Like, there are people in your life right now, I'm going to say at least three people that you could have a deeply harmonious, positive relationship with, where no one's trying to control the other. It's not about using each other. There's no abuse happening. It truly is a harmonious partnership, whether it's romantic, friendship, family, colleague, whatever. This is available to you, but there's something that makes it difficult for you to accept it. And maybe we'll see more about that as we go. Other challenges in your relationship with yourself. And the reason that's coming through is it's like that inner part of you is like, hey, pile 2, like, I love that you're this way with me, but we could also be getting this from other people too. You know, there's all these other sources that you're kind of like ignoring. And why is that? Like, I would like that too, as the inner part of you. So that's what that message is about. With the World and the Ten of Wands in reverse, we have the Hierophant, the Six of Cups, the High Priestess, and the Seven of Wands. So the World, I don't often get this, but what I'm specifically getting here is the internet. There's some way that you interact with the internet that your inner self doesn't like. Now, this could be a lot of things. This could be maybe you doom scroll for hours about the worst news articles you can find. Maybe you look up all your exes on Facebook or Instagram for some negative nostalgia, and it doesn't make you feel good. Maybe this is even, you know, watching content until your eyes bleed, whether that's TV shows or stuff of a sensual nature or whatever it is. Like, there's something that you're doing with the internet, and you would know what this is for you, that your inner self just really doesn't like and damages your relationship with yourself. With the Ten of Wands in reverse plus the Hierophant, you're correct in that, Like, you have to live by your own set of rules, your own set of standards. You live by the beat of your own drum, and that's good. Like, your inner self is coming through to say, yes, like, that's amazing that you do that. Keep doing that. But there's also something that you want related to the Hierophant that you aren't applying yourself to. And again, this isn't about like goal setting or performance management or anything like that. But this is you talking to you saying, but there's that thing that we want though. Can't we go after that thing that we want without pressuring ourselves? And so some examples of what that thing could be for the Hierophant, because it could be different for each of you. It will be different for each of you. The Hierophant could be something like getting to a particular position in your job, like becoming a manager, becoming the CEO, becoming a tenured professor, let's say. It could be becoming a spiritual teacher, or really applying yourself to a spiritual path, like becoming a pilgrim, a student of a particular pathway, and really applying yourself to that. It could be marriage, creating a family, creating a legacy in terms of like your actual bloodline. And there's lots of other possibilities too. You might be interested just to Google the Hierophant and read about the card to see if it doesn't come immediately to you what this could be. But there's something that your inner self is asking you to, like, let's go for that thing. Like, please, can we? And then the last thing we have here, 6 of Cups, the High Priestess, and 7 of Wands. So I'm actually getting this is a particular person. It's so interesting because pile 1 also had a person show up in this position. So for you, there's a person. It's kind of a similar message to this, but there's a person that you love that fascinates you. I don't think love would even be the word that you choose because it doesn't cover it. It's like this person feels like both at home to you, but also like some wild adventure you've never experienced. Just knowing them already has created some level of transformation in your life. This doesn't have to be romantic. It could be platonic, but I think for most of you, this is a romantic connection. And basically, if you think about the person right now who fascinates you most, like if you had some way to get a 3-hour like annotated printout of everything that goes through their mind, what they think about, what they say, how they behave for 3 hours, and you were able to read that would make your day or week or year to learn more about this person and really understand them and be around them even. Like there's just something about their presence that really lights you up. This person, for some reason, is removed from you right now. This could be an actual separation, could just be distance, could be that you're just not talking as much as you would like to. And this person has some defenses up towards you. And I'm getting that this is related directly to this 2 of Cups. It's like this person would love to be closer to you, but you're not bringing that. You're not allowing that. There's some level of trust that you aren't willing to connect with them on. And the reason this is coming through in your reading is that part of you, your relationship with you, it's like, on the one hand, you're really happy with you, but also you would like some other people to play with also. And especially this person that just like really fascinates you and lights you up. So there's a part of you that's like upset that you know this person exists and you're not fixing it. Again, related to this, like maybe not wanting to put pressure on yourself, not wanting to have a goal or being like too masculine in energy, meaning, I will take this hill. I'm going to make it happen. Nothing will stop me. Like you really don't like that energy. But this part of yourself is coming through to say, yeah, we don't like that energy, but we really like this person. So can we compromise a bit and figure it out and see if we can make this happen? So that's what's coming through there. So now I'm going to ask, what did I miss, or what would Spirit like me to add or say differently for pile 2's relationship with themselves, please? Ooh, the Tower. I'm going to pull one more for that. and the Ace of Pentacles. What's coming to mind with this is, after destruction, there's the rebuilding phase. So maybe you've gone through some kind of destruction. Maybe this is even related to this particular relationship. Maybe you have the sense that there's no fixing this, that like this person is just totally shut off from you. Whatever the case, Spirit wants you to know, like, yes, things have fallen apart, but there's an opportunity to plant a new seed and to start over completely. And that has to come from you. It comes from your hands, from you reaching out or planting that seed to be able to create this Two of Cups. Because I think that you've had people, not just this person, lots of people in your life try to create this dynamic with you. And it just hasn't gone the way that you've needed it to ever, because there's some self-sabotage or something going on where you don't allow that to continue or allow it to progress. And maybe there's just, you know yourself pretty well, pal, too. Maybe you need to be in control of how things go, at least in the beginning, or in terms of how trust is built. So the clarification coming through now is Spirit wants you to know that, like, just because everything's fallen apart doesn't mean it's a lost cause. It means what was there is gone, and now you can start something new. Chariot at the back of the deck, which means, like, get on it. Okay, so we're going to finish up now with any advice for you, pile 2. Although it seems like we just got a little advice there at the end. So interesting. So, if you're curious, I almost have the sense that pile 1 and pile 2 know each other. So, like, your person that was in the lower right here, I think that might be pile 1. So if you're curious to see the same set of questions for them, you might want to check out pile 1. And let me know if you do that and if it does resonate, because I'd be curious. Okay, so pile 2, advice for pile 2. 5 of Cups in the reverse. I'll tell you what I'm hearing with that in a second. The Empress. The Fool in the reverse. The Emperor in reverse on the bottom of the deck. So interesting. So, what I heard with this card with the 5 of Cups in reverse, and don't shoot the messenger, but what I heard is don't be a sad sack. Like, maybe there's something about negative nostalgia, or you looking back at situations in your life where you're kind of like taking it a little too far in terms of like drowning in your emotions about it. And Spirit's saying, like, that's enough. You've explored those emotions enough. It's time for action now. I'm drawn to this card, which says new skills, advanced training, and rapid improvements, which at first I thought maybe would be like related to work. But what I'm really getting for this card is that it's about rapid improvements. Like, you know what you want to change in your life. You just understand that you're a little bit allergic to like goal setting or putting pressure on yourself for performance. And it's not that. Rapid improvements is noticing what you want and going for what you want and starting with that every day. And really it's more about, it's not about like, oh, here's the goal. Like, even with this person, if the goal is to get the person, then yeah, that's not ideal. But if the goal instead is for you to be a person that could connect with that love that you have and create a positive relationship, if your goal is that, if it's about you and what you want for yourself, then there's more of a chance for you to get that, and for it not to feel, for you not to have like a trigger or a reaction to it. Other advice for you, the Empress. I think this is your person, pile 2, and I think this is saying, like, go get them. This person is pregnant with the world, actually, it looks like, which is kind of cool. And the Empress is, I mean, they've got it all. They're the embodiment of the four queens. This is the ultimate in feminine energy. Feminine energy is about creativity, spirituality, attracting things to themselves. And with the Fool in the reverse, this message is coming through to say, I think, like, you're not a fool if you go after this person. Like, who wouldn't want to go after this person? Like, this is the prize. So you're not silly or foolish to try it with this person. And you have some reasonable belief or understanding that they might accept you. So why wouldn't you try? And then we have on the back of the death, the Emperor in the reverse with death and rebirth. So it's so interesting. Like, this is not what this reading was supposed to be about, but we go with what we get, huh? So the Emperor in reverse with Scorpio. So this is saying, like, right now, you don't see yourself as the counterpart to this Empress. You're coming through as the Emperor in reverse, which means, like, not quite there. But this card is still here. The energy is still, like, on the board, as it were. So all it needs to do is to be transformed. And right below it, we have death and rebirth, which is about transformation. Scorpio is about letting the old die and going through a deep inner change. And so I think Spirit's advice to you is you can shift this. You can go for this person and create something that works for you. And yeah, get on your horse. So, interesting reading, pile 2. Let me know what you thought. I'd be so curious to hear. And leave me a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Okay. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the Delicate Fairy and Her Ferrets, this will be your reading. Hope you're doing well today. We have had 2 very different readings so far. I am so curious to see what happens with this one. In that last pile, I ended up giving, like, relationship advice, like, go after that person that you really want, which was not what I was expecting to come through in this reading, but it's almost like I'm not in charge, which, by the way, I'm totally not in charge. It's whatever Spirit wants to do. So we're going to ask about the strengths of your relationship with yourself, pile 3, the challenges in that relationship, and any advice for you. So here we go. For pile 3, please, Spirit, strengths in their relationship with themselves right now. It's a great start. Queen of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles in the reverse. The Lovers in the reverse. 9 of Pentacles. Eight of Cups. And challenges. We have 9 of Swords. 8 of Pentacles. 5 of Wands reversed. 6 of Swords. And Page of Pentacles. 10 of Swords in the reverse on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so starting with your strengths, your relationship with yourself. Even though you don't have absolutely everything that you've dreamed of or that you want in life, you have created a really positive, stable life for yourself. So this Queen of Pentacles together with the 9 of Pentacles is giving total self-fulfillment, self-satisfaction, Queen of the Castle, just nothing can shake me kind of energy. These people, you know, are well connected and stable, and everything's together about them. Like, their money's right, their clothes are right, their career's right, their friends are solid. There might just be something around family and romance that isn't exactly the way that you'd like it to be, but you know that that will come in time with the right person, and so you're not too stressed about it, pile 3. And I know, okay, so maybe you have your moments. Everyone has their moments. But for the most part, like, you're very happy and content and settled as you are and feeling really good. And you create that. You adjust that. And one of the main ways that you adjust that and make sure it happens is with this 8 of Cups. You are quick to set a boundary, say no, move on, let something be in the past if you need it to be, pile 3. I'm trying to think of an example of this. I just think you're very in touch with what you need, what you want, and who you are. And so if someone isn't a match, you just move on quickly. You don't waste time. You don't waste your time or the other person's time. You don't have this misplaced sense of guilt of like, oh, well, I should like that person, or I work with them, I should be friendly, I should want to go to lunch with them. No, you don't have to. You literally don't have to be any kind of way. And you're so happy with yourself as yourself that you're not putting pressure on yourself about that. With the 10 of Pentacles and the Lovers in the reverse, I'm going to turn these upright for a minute. So when these cards are upright, this is about total abundance in every area, and then harmony. The Lovers in particular to me is like romantic harmony with a lover, like literally. And so with these reversed, it's saying that things aren't as you wish they would be in those areas right now. Maybe you even are partnered with kids, or maybe you even do have a lover in your life, but it's just not the ideal state of harmony that you'd be hoping for. But even so, that doesn't threaten your relationship with you. Have you ever known those people, or have you been this person yourself? I certainly was when I was much younger, where if there's not a good romance in their life, then they just feel like nothing's right and they can't relax, they can't be happy. You're just not that person. You know that even if there's a problem in one area, you can still be happy and focus on the others. So you're very patient, you're very consistent with yourself, and just, takes no holds barred, takes no prisoners at any time, ready to leave something behind if it doesn't meet your standards, pile 3, which I love that for you. And then we have challenges here. We have 9 of Swords and 8 of Pentacles together. So I'm getting, if you have any trouble sleeping, any form of insomnia or nightmares, depression, anxiety, panic, it's somehow related to your work. I don't know if you knew that already, but there is something related to what you do for your job. Now this could be like, I'm drawn to, this looks like a computer chair to me because of just the way that they're sitting here. So this could be maybe like your body just does not like computer work, which that would be very inconvenient in the world that we live in. And maybe it's like, that, but you're like, okay, what am I going to do? Like, not work on my computer in my corporate job. But there's things you could troubleshoot. But anyway, it could be your hours. It could be the nature of the work that you're doing. It could be very energetically taxing in whatever case, because I'm drawn to all these like streams of energy and light that are coming around the 8 Pentacles here. But for some reason, it's really impacting your ability to rest, your ability to be at ease and at peace. And I described you as very like stable, secure, and peaceful before, and that's still true. I feel like the only time that's disturbed is at night, and Spirit's just wanted to let you know that that's work related for you, if you had a question about that. 5 of Wands in reverse with the 6 of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. So there's something here about, it's interesting as a challenge. Like if people don't step to you the way that you hope, you don't fight for that. You don't let it go. No, you do let it go. You let things go without a fight. And so obviously like that can be a really positive quality to not, to be more like, well, don't let the door hit you on the way out, instead of no, please stay, like don't go. But there's something coming through here where maybe it's even that energy of like wanting people to guess what you need or what your preferences are or what your expectations are instead of being more direct about them in some way or another. And for some reason, this is upsetting to you, to that part of yourself. Maybe you can think of, and I'm getting in my mind a number of like 5 or 6 key relationships in your life that you just kind of let go instead of having that hard conversation, instead of saying like, look, I have this need in this situation that really isn't being met. So I want to let you know about that to see if maybe things could change. Or, you know, some version of that conversation you haven't been as willing to have. And so there's a part of you coming through that's just saying like, you know, I am kind of bummed that we missed out on those people and those relationships and some of those things that aren't in our life anymore. And I just hope the next time you feel that way or like you have a need that hasn't been met, that you can make a different choice and have the conversation if needed. Sorry for the background noise, pile 3. Then we have Page of Pentacles as the last card in this row as a challenge. I think this is similar. It's like related to the last one that we talked about where maybe you're not getting from others what you expect or what you need. And instead of saying that or being clear or asking, even if you're not super direct and don't like being direct, there's still like indirect ways to do that. Such as texting your partner pictures of things you want them to bring home to you, or I don't know. Just an example, something that I sometimes do, like, hey, this would be an amazing present for you to buy and surprise me with sometime just randomly. Which I don't love that energy either, but the fact is, like, it actually makes me really happy if I then do get that gift later. So that's kind of what this energy is here. It's like the challenge is in you asking for what you need and identifying what you need, and so you get it instead of these different offers that aren't exactly what you're hoping for. Okay, so now let's see if there's anything I missed here that Spirit wants to bring through. Okay, pile 3, what else might the Spirit want to say that I missed? We have Judgment. Three Pentacles in the reverse. And the Tower. With the 8 of Wands in the reverse. So I think you may have a habit of trying to do everything on your own, pile 3. Like, let's just say it's not easy for you to ask for help when you need it. And Spirit's coming through and saying, like, you've gotten away with that for too long in your life. Gotten away probably isn't the right way to say that, but like there's been a judgment call on that. And at this point, if you continue to refuse to ask for help, then there will be towers that happen in your life. Now, who knows what this is? This could be health related. It could be relationships. But Spirit's wanting to really get your attention. This isn't a threat. It's more of like Spirit just wants to really make sure to get your attention that like, hey, like it's human to ask for help and you need it. Everybody needs it. So please do it. Please take care of yourself. So that you can, for one, like get rid of this 9 of Swords energy. And also just be closer to the people in your life that love you, that you want to feel more connected to. And obviously you don't want these bad things to happen, whatever they are. Okay, so now we're going to look at advice for you, pile 3. So what advice does Spirit have for you? And I'm hoping, it's not too triggering to hear about that if you continue to not ask for help, things could go badly. But I get the sense that you already know that, pile 3, but it's still it's just hard for you to get over that hump to be able to really request what you need from others. So let's see. So advice from Spirit to close the reading for pile 3. Six of Swords in the reverse. Nine of Pentacles. Justice in the reverse. And Page of Swords reversed with the Nine of Cups in reverse at the bottom. So advice for you. So I think this is again related to what we saw from you in the prior part of the reading. Like you've gotten to a certain level in your life and a certain amount of success, and things have really worked for you by you being independent, by you not asking for help, by you not relying on others or asking for much from other people. And Spirit's acknowledging that change is hard and it doesn't feel good, and especially when it's a totally new behavior, like you making yourself vulnerable to receive assistance from the outside and talk about your own needs. The Spirit's wanting to acknowledge that that's really difficult. And also, it's the only way to be truly independent. And by the way, like independence is really like an illusion. I consider myself really independent, but I'm independent because of my ability to have a job and, you know, have a partner that handles certain things of our lives together, and have family support when I need it, and friends when I need that, and spiritual resources. Like we're all more interdependent than we would like to believe. And so the advice here for you is to allow yourself to open up a bit more to those areas where you do need help and make that request for assistance. So I hope that resonates for you, pile 3. Leave me a like, comment, or subscribe. Let me know if it did or even if it didn't. I'd be really interested to hear that. And I hope to see you in another reading. Thank you so much.